The more you try to control everything, the more life slips through your fingers. You worry about what people think, what might go wrong, what you should have done differently. And in that endless cycle of caring too much, you lose the one thing that truly matters, your peace. But what if the secret to happiness isn't in doing more, fixing more, or proving more, but in caring less? Not in a careless or irresponsible way, but in a calm, powerful way. The kind of detachment that frees your mind. The kind that allows you to move through life without being chained to every opinion, every outcome, every expectation. When you care less about things you cannot control, you suddenly gain control over yourself. Think about it: how much of your stress comes from things that don't truly matter? People's opinions, temporary setbacks, imagined fears. You give them power by caring too much. And the more you feed them, the bigger they become. But when you begin to step back and say, "This is not worth my energy," something shifts inside you. You become lighter. You become calmer. You become free. There is strength in not reacting. There is power in choosing silence over unnecessary arguments. When you stop needing validation, you stop giving others control over your emotions. And that is where real confidence begins. Not in proving yourself, but in no longer feeling the need to imagine waking up without the weight of overthinking. Imagine going through your day without constantly seeking approval. Imagine letting things be what they are without forcing them to be what you want. That is the life that opens up when you care less. You don't chase, you attract. You don't force, you flow. You don't beg for attention. You command respect through your presence. People often misunderstand this mindset. They think caring less means you become cold or distant. But that's not true. It means you become selective. You give your energy only to what truly deserves it. You invest in your growth, your peace, your purpose, not in drama, not in negativity, not in things that drain you. And when you start living this way, something incredible happens. The things you once chased begin to come to you naturally. Opportunities, respect, clarity, all of it flows toward the person who is not desperate for it. Desperation repels. Calm confidence attracts. You stop reacting to every little thing. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand you. You stop trying to fix everything and everyone. And in that space, you finally find yourself. Because the truth is, happiness was never outside of you. It was buried under layers of unnecessary concern, overthinking, and attachment. Remove those layers, and happiness reveals itself. So today, try this. Let go of one thing that has been weighing on your mind. Just one. Decide that it's not worth your peace. Watch how your mind responds. Watch how your body feels. That small step is the beginning of a new way of living. A life where you are in control, not of everything around you, but of yourself. And that is more than enough. If this message spoke to you, if you're ready to take control of your mind and live with true peace, then make sure you subscribe to this channel. There's so much more coming your way, lessons that will transform how you think, how you act, and how you live. Stay with us, and start becoming the strongest, calmest version of yourself. The moment you stop chasing approval is the moment you start living for yourself. So many people are trapped in invisible cages, constantly adjusting their behavior just to be accepted. They speak differently, act differently, even think differently, all to fit into expectations that were never truly theirs. But when you care less about being liked, you begin to discover who you really are. And that discovery is powerful. Because now, your actions are no longer driven by fear. They are driven by clarity. You do what feels right, not what looks right. You move with intention, not pressure. And in that space, your confidence becomes unshakable. There is a quiet strength in people who don't need to prove anything. They don't argue unnecessarily. They don't react emotionally to every situation. They observe, they understand, and they choose their responses carefully. This is what happens when you stop caring about things that don't add value to your life. You become disciplined with your energy. Not everyone deserves your attention. Not every situation deserves your reaction. And not every opinion deserves your consideration. Once you understand this, your life becomes simpler, cleaner, more focused. You start to protect your peace like it's your most valuable possession. Because it is when something tries to disturb your calm, you pause. You ask yourself, is this worth my energy? And most of the time, the answer is no. That simple question can save you from countless moments of stress, anger, and regret. The less you care about unnecessary things, the more space you create for what truly matters. Your goals, your growth, your happiness. And here's the truth most people don't realize. When you stop caring so much, you actually become more attractive. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. People are drawn to those who are at peace with themselves. Those who are not desperate for attention, not easily shaken, not constantly seeking validation. You become that person. Calm, grounded, unbothered. This doesn't mean life becomes perfect. Challenges will still come. People will still misunderstand you. Things will still go wrong. But your reaction changes, and that changes everything. Instead of overthinking, you accept. Instead of resisting, you adapt. Instead of breaking down, you grow stronger. This is the Stoic way. Not avoiding life, but mastering your response to it. And as you continue practicing this mindset, you'll notice something else. You'll start enjoying the present moment more. Because your mind is no longer stuck in the past or anxious about the future. You are here, fully present, fully alive. That is where true happiness exists. Not in controlling everything, but in letting go of what you can't control. So keep going. Keep practicing. It won't happen overnight, but every step you take toward caring less about the wrong things is a step toward a better life. And if you're on this journey of becoming mentally stronger, calmer, and more in control, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel. There's so much more ahead. Lessons, insights, and strategies that will help you rise above the noise and become the best version of yourself. Stay focused, stay calm, and remember, your peace is always worth protecting. One of the biggest shifts you will experience on this journey is realizing how little actually deserves your attention. At first, it may feel strange. You might notice yourself pulling back from things you once reacted to instantly. Conversations that used to drain you no longer interest you. Situations that once triggered you now feel distant, almost insignificant. This is growth. You are not becoming disconnected. You are becoming aware. Aware of where your energy goes. Aware of what truly matters. And most importantly, aware of yourself. When you care less about meaningless distractions, you begin to focus more on what builds you. Your time becomes more valuable. Your thoughts become clearer. Your decisions become stronger. You are no longer scattered. You are centered. And in that centered state, you gain a kind of peace that cannot be easily shaken. There will be moments when people don't understand this version of you. They may say you've changed. They may accuse you of being distant or different. But what they're really noticing is your growth. You are no longer reacting the way you used to, and that can be uncomfortable for those who benefited from your old patterns. Do not let that pull you back. Not everyone is meant to grow with you. Some people are only meant to be part of your past, not your future. And caring less about their opinions allows you to move forward without guilt. Let them misunderstand you if they must. Your responsibility is not to explain yourself to everyone. Your responsibility is to stay true to your path. The more you embrace this mindset, the more fearless you become. Because fear often comes from caring too much about failure, about rejection, about judgment. When you reduce that attachment, fear loses its grip on you. You start taking action. You start speaking your truth. You start living boldly. And that boldness doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from freedom. Freedom from needing approval. Freedom from overthinking. Freedom from emotional dependency. This is where your true power lies. In a world where everyone is trying to be seen, there is unmatched strength in being at peace with yourself, even when no one is watching. You don't need constant recognition. You don't need applause. You know your worth, and that is enough. As you continue walking this path, remind yourself daily, not everything deserves your reaction. Not everything deserves your concern. Protect your mind like you would protect something precious, because it is choose calm over chaos. Choose silence over noise. Choose peace over pressure, and watch how your life transforms. If you're still here, it means something inside you is ready for this change. Don't ignore it. Build on it. Let this be the moment you start letting go of what no longer serves you. And if you want more content like this, content that strengthens your mindset, sharpens your focus, and elevates your life, make sure you subscribe to this channel. This is just the beginning of a journey that can completely transform how you see the world and yourself. Stay consistent, stay aware, and remember, the less you care about what doesn't matter, the more room you create for what truly does. There is a deep calm that comes when you finally accept that you cannot control everything. For so long, you may have tried to hold things together, forcing outcomes, managing people, worrying about every possible scenario. But life was never meant to be controlled that way. The more you try to grip it tightly, the more it resists you. When you loosen that grip, everything changes. You begin to trust the process. You begin to understand that not everything needs your intervention. Some things are meant to unfold on their own, and your role is not to force them, but to respond to them with clarity and strength. This is where inner peace begins. It's not found in perfect conditions. It's found in your ability to remain steady, even when conditions are not perfect. And that steadiness comes from caring less about what you cannot control, and focusing fully on what you can, your thoughts, your actions, your mindset. As you practice this, you will notice your reactions becoming slower, more intentional. Instead of being pulled into every emotional wave, you start observing before responding. You create space between what happens and how you react. And in that space, you find your power. That space is everything, because it allows you to choose wisdom over impulse. It allows you to stay calm when others are overwhelmed. It allows you to maintain control over yourself, even when everything around you feels uncertain. And the more you operate from that space, the more respect you command. Without even asking for it, people notice the difference. They see someone who is not easily shaken. Someone who does not seek attention but naturally attracts it. Someone who is grounded, focused, and quietly confident. That kind of presence is rare. And it comes from discipline. The discipline to let go, the discipline to not react, the discipline to protect your peace at all costs. You begin to realize that peace is not something you find outside. It is something you build within. And every time you choose not to overreact, not to overthink, not to overcare about the wrong things, you are strengthening that inner foundation. This is how you become unstoppable, not by controlling the world, but by mastering yourself. There will still be difficult days, moments where emotions rise, where situations test your patience. But even then, you will have the awareness to step back and remind yourself, this is temporary. This does not control me. And just like that, you regain your balance. Keep reminding yourself of what truly matters. Your growth, your purpose, your peace. Everything else is secondary. Everything else can wait. Because at the end of the day, a calm mind will always outperform a chaotic one. So continue this journey. Continue letting go, continue becoming someone who is not easily disturbed by things that once controlled you. And if you're serious about transforming your mindset, about building a life of calm strength and clarity, then make sure you subscribe to this channel. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Powerful insights that will help you rise above distractions and step fully into your potential. Stay grounded. Stay focused. And never forget, the less you care about what drains you, the more powerful you become. At a certain point, you begin to realize that peace is not something you stumble upon, it is something you protect. Every thought you entertain, every reaction you give, every situation you allow into your mind either strengthens your peace or weakens it, and when you start caring less about what doesn't matter, you naturally become more protective of what does. You stop allowing negativity to rent space in your mind. You stop replaying conversations that led nowhere. You stop giving energy to people who do not value it. And in doing so, your mind becomes quieter, clearer, stronger. This is not about ignoring reality. It's about choosing your focus. Because whatever you focus on grows. If you focus on problems, they multiply. If you focus on what you can control, solutions begin to appear. And that shift in focus is everything. When you care less about distractions, you gain more control over your direction. You begin to move with purpose. You stop wasting time trying to fix things that were never yours to fix. You stop trying to win battles that don't matter. Instead, you invest your energy into becoming better, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This is where real progress happens. Not in reacting to everything, but in choosing what deserves your attention. You become more intentional with your life. You set boundaries without guilt. You walk away without explanation when necessary. You say no without overthinking. And each of these actions strengthens your self-respect. Because every time you choose your peace over unnecessary stress, you are telling yourself, I matter. And that belief changes everything. You begin to carry yourself differently. You speak with more confidence. You move with more clarity. You no longer feel the need to compete, compare, or prove yourself. You are focused on your own path, your own growth, your own journey. And that level of focus is rare in a world full of distractions. There will always be noise, opinions, expectations, pressures. But you don't have to absorb it, you can observe it without letting it control you. You can hear it without believing it, you can acknowledge it without reacting to it. That is the art of caring less. Not becoming numb, but becoming selective. Not shutting down, but leveling up, not avoiding life, but mastering it. As you continue on this path, you'll notice your happiness becoming more stable. It's no longer dependent on external validation or perfect conditions. It comes from within, from your ability to remain calm, grounded, and in control of yourself. And that kind of happiness is powerful, because it cannot be easily taken away. So keep going. Keep choosing peace. Keep letting go of what drains you. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but the discomfort is a sign that you are growing beyond your old habits. And growth always requires change. If you've made it this far, then you are already ahead of many. You are becoming more aware, more intentional, more in control. And this is just the beginning. Make sure you subscribe to this channel to continue this journey. There's so much more ahead. Insights that will challenge you, strengthen you, and guide you toward becoming the best version of yourself. Stay disciplined, stay calm, and always remember, the less you care about what doesn't matter, the more space you create for a life that truly does. Over time, you will begin to notice something subtle but powerful. You are no longer easily shaken. Situations that once disturbed your peace now pass through your life without leaving a mark. Words that once triggered you now feel empty. Opinions that once controlled your mood no longer have a place in your mind. This is what happens when you master the art of caring less. You are not becoming indifferent to life. You are becoming immune to unnecessary suffering. You start to see things for what they truly are, not for how they make you feel in the moment. And that clarity allows you to respond with wisdom instead of emotion. There is a quiet confidence in this state. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. You don't need to argue to prove your point. You don't need to react to show your strength. Your calmness speaks for you. Your composure defines you. Your presence alone commands respect. And the best part is, you don't have to force any of it, it becomes natural. Because once you understand that most things are temporary, you stop attaching permanent emotions to temporary situations. You let things come and go without holding on to them. You experience life without being consumed by it. That is freedom. You are no longer controlled by every setback, every delay, every disappointment. You understand that life moves in phases, and not every phase requires your emotional investment. Some things are simply meant to pass through your life, not stay in it, and when you accept that, you stop resisting reality. You flow with it, you adapt to it. You grow through it. This mindset also changes how you view success. You no longer chase it desperately. You build yourself patiently. You focus on becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts success, rather than someone who constantly runs after it. Because when your mind is calm, your decisions become sharper. When your emotions are stable, your actions become more effective. When your focus is clear, your results become stronger. Everything improves, not because the world changed, but because you did. So continue to remind yourself daily, not everything deserves your attention. Not everything deserves your reaction. Your energy is limited, and where you invest it determines the quality of your life. Invest it wisely. Choose growth over distraction. Choose peace over drama. Choose discipline over impulse. And watch how your life begins to align in ways you never expected. If this message continues to resonate with you, if you feel yourself evolving into a calmer, stronger version of who you used to be, then stay connected. Subscribe to this channel and be part of a community that is focused on growth, discipline, and true inner power. There is so much more ahead, and the best version of you is still being built. Stay patient, stay focused, and never forget, the less you care about what is meaningless, the more meaningful your life becomes. As you continue on this path, you will begin to feel a deeper sense of control, not over the world, but over yourself. And that is the only control that has ever truly mattered. You will notice how your thoughts no longer run wild the way they used to. You guide them. You filter them. You choose which ones deserve your attention and which ones should be let go. This is mental discipline. And with that discipline comes a new level of freedom. You are no longer a prisoner of every passing emotion. You no longer feel the need to react instantly. Instead, you pause, you reflect, you respond with intention. That pause becomes your greatest strength. Because in that moment of stillness, you separate yourself from chaos. You give yourself the power to choose wisely. And wise choices, repeated over time, create a powerful life. A life that is not easily shaken. A life that is not easily distracted. A life that is built on clarity, not confusion. You will also begin to notice how much time you gain. Time that was once wasted on overthinking, worrying, and reacting is now available for growth. You can invest it in learning, building, improving yourself. You can use it to create something meaningful, something lasting. Because when you care less about what drains you, you naturally care more about what builds you. And that shift is life-changing. You stop living on autopilot. You stop being pulled in different directions by external forces. You become intentional with your actions. Every step you take has purpose behind it. Every decision you make is aligned with who you are becoming. This is how you take your life back. Not by controlling everything, but by controlling yourself. Not by chasing everything, but by choosing wisely. Not by reacting to everything, but by remaining steady. And in that steadiness, you find a kind of strength that most people never experience. A quiet, unshakable strength that does not need validation, does not need approval, does not need recognition. Because it comes from within. There will be moments when you are tested. Moments when old habits try to return. Moments when you feel the urge to care too much again. But now, you are aware. And awareness gives you the power to choose differently. You can step back. You can breathe. You can remind yourself of who you are becoming. And that reminder will bring you back to your center. So keep practicing. Keep letting go, keep choosing peace, even when it's difficult. Because every time you do, you are strengthening a version of yourself that is calm, focused, and in control. And that version of you is unstoppable. If you've been following this message from the beginning, then you are already on a powerful journey of transformation. Don't stop here. There is so much more to learn, so much more to become. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and stay connected. More insights, more lessons, more powerful ideas are coming your way, each one designed to help you grow stronger, think clearer, and live better. Stay consistent, stay disciplined, and always remember, the less you care about what you can't control, the more control you gain over your life. At this stage, something within you becomes undeniable. You start to feel a quiet certainty, a deep understanding that you no longer need to chase, force, or overextend yourself to find peace or happiness. You realize that everything you truly need begins from within, and that realization changes how you move through the world. You stop seeking constant reassurance. You stop questioning your worth. You stop doubting your path. Instead, you trust yourself. This trust is built through every moment you chose not to react, every time you walked away from unnecessary conflict, every time you protected your peace instead of proving a point. These small decisions compound, and over time, they create a version of you that is grounded, stable, and self-assured. And that version of you is powerful. Because now, your happiness is no longer fragile. It doesn't depend on someone else's approval or external success. It exists within you, steady and reliable, no matter what happens around you. This is emotional independence, and it is one of the greatest forms of freedom you can experience. When you reach this level, you no longer feel the need to control outcomes. You put in your effort, you do your best, and then you let go. You understand that not everything is meant to go your way, and that's okay. Because your peace is not tied to results, it is tied to your mindset. And that mindset becomes your anchor. No matter what life throws at you, you return to it calm, centered, unshaken. You also begin to see people differently. You no longer take everything personally. You understand that most people are dealing with their own struggles, their own fears, their own limitations. And because of that, you stop reacting to their behavior as if it defines you. It doesn't. You choose understanding over anger. You choose distance over drama. You choose peace over proving a point. And that choice saves you from countless unnecessary battles. Because not every fight is worth fighting. Not every situation is worth your attention. Not every person deserves access to your energy. And once you fully accept this, your life becomes lighter, simpler, more intentional. You move with purpose, not pressure. You act with clarity, not confusion. And most importantly, you live with peace, not constant tension. This is the reward of caring less about the wrong things. It creates space for everything that truly matters. So continue walking this path with confidence. Continue choosing yourself. Continue letting go of what no longer serves you. You are not losing anything by caring less. You are gaining everything that truly matters. And if this message continues to guide you, if you feel yourself becoming stronger, calmer, and more focused, then stay connected. Subscribe to this channel and be part of growth and transformation. There is more ahead. More wisdom, more clarity, more power. Stay grounded. Stay aware. And always remember, the less you care about what drains you, the more you become someone who cannot be shaken by anything. As you keep evolving, you'll begin to notice a powerful shift in how you handle uncertainty. Before, the unknown may have made you anxious. You wanted answers immediately. You wanted guarantees. You wanted everything to go exactly as planned. But now, you understand something deeper. Life doesn't need to be fully understood to be lived peacefully. You become comfortable with not knowing. And that comfort is strength. Because when you no longer fear uncertainty, you stop trying to control every outcome. You allow life to unfold. You focus on your actions, your mindset, your effort, and you release everything else. This is where true calm begins to settle within you. You are no longer rushing through life. You are experiencing it fully. With awareness, with intention. There is a certain grace in moving this way. You don't panic when things don't go as expected. You adjust. You adapt. You remain steady. And in that steadiness, you begin to see opportunities where others only see problems. This is the advantage of a calm mind. While others react, you think. While others rush, you observe. While others lose control, you remain grounded. And over time, this difference sets you apart in ways that are impossible to ignore. You start to trust the timing of your life. You understand that delays are not denials. That setbacks are not failures. That not getting what you want immediately does not mean you won't get something better later. This perspective removes pressure. It replaces urgency with patience. It replaces anxiety with confidence. Because you know that no matter what happens, you have the ability to handle it. That belief changes everything. It makes you resilient. It makes you focused. It makes you unstoppable. And as you continue building this mindset, you'll notice that your relationships also begin to change. You no longer tolerate disrespect. You no longer cling to people out of fear of being alone. You no longer sacrifice your peace to keep others comfortable. You choose quality over quantity. You choose respect over attention. You choose peace over attachment. And these choices elevate your life. Because the people who remain are the ones who truly value you. The ones who respect your boundaries. The ones who align with your growth. Everyone else fades away. And that's not a loss, it's clarity. So embrace this journey fully. Embrace the silence, the calm, the detachment. It is not emptiness, it is space. Space for growth. Space for clarity. Space for a better version of yourself to emerge. And that version of you is already forming. Stronger, wiser, unshaken. If you've been growing with this message, then don't stop here. Subscribe to this channel and continue building this mindset. There is so much more to come. Insights that will sharpen your thinking, strengthen your discipline, and guide you toward a life of true peace and control. Stay patient, stay focused, and remember, the less you care about forcing life, the more life begins to work in your favor.